Well, despite the fact that they lost 3 of 4 games to the LA Kings this regular season, the Oilers still favored in their first-round series against the Los Angeles Kings, despite the fact that for the first time in 4 straight years these two teams have met in the first round, it will be the Kings with home ice advantage. Craig Button's back with me to talk about that. And Craig, you've called this the most compelling series of the first round, and I'm inclined to agree with you because I'm not sure we know exactly what to expect, despite the fact these two teams have faced each other for 4 years in a row.
Yeah, well, and so there's familiarity. Familiarity breeds some contempt, and there's going to be a level of that. But the LA Kings are really, really good. Darcy Kemper's won a Stanley Cup. He's been there, done that, won that. So their defense is good. I mean, Drew Doughty, Mikey Anderson, Vladislav Gavrikov, and Joel Edmondson, they take chunks out of you. They're not there to play nice. They're there to play hard. Yeah. The forward group is really good. They're deep, and they play really good defensively. So why would I call this the most compelling thing, and why would I bet against the Edmonton Oilers? So let me be clear on this. I would never bet against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, but I would bet against the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think they're as good a team as the one that lost in Game 7 last year versus the Florida Panthers. But Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl can take the best defensive plan and shred it. They can make you question what you're doing. They can turn a game into the favor of the Edmonton Oilers in a big way. And so that's why I find it compelling. Even though I don't see the Oilers as good a team, and even though I see the LA Kings winning this series, I allow for the fact that McDavid and Draisaitl could, by themselves, turn this series in Edmonton's favor. That is significant. It also speaks to the greatness of those two players. So while they might not be as good a team, they haven't lost anything. And Connor McDavid right now looks like he's in the mode of like, I'm ready for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I mean, we know that he didn't have a Connor McDavid-esque season. He still had 100-plus points. At the end of it all, we're talking about somebody that's wired to win, and he looks like he's getting right into that mindset.
10 points in 4 games since returning from injury and got that rest after the Four Nations face-off. He was clearly beat up after the Four Nations face-off, got a little bit of rest. The issue for the Oilers, I think, though, you lose someone like Mattias Ekholm for the first round. That's a big loss.
And that's why I pick LA to win the series.
Right.
Like, Ekholm is a massive loss.
Yeah.
Like you'll have other players step in and play the minutes and do, but they can't do what Ekholm does. And one of the things that Ekholm did exceptionally well was just allow Evan Bouchard to play his game.
Yep.
You know, we talked earlier about Pionk and Sandberg and the interplay between defenders. Well, that's what Ekholm did. Darnell Nurse has had a fantastic season. He really has. But now, without those big, heavy, hard minutes against a big, heavy, hard team, that's something where you lose. And Deneau and Kopitar are tremendous players. They're not going to be in awe of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. There's only 2 games that LA played against the Edmonton Oilers when both McDavid and Draisaitl were playing. At 5-on-5, there was but 1 measly second assist by Leon Draisaitl. So Deneau and Kopitar are up for the challenge.
You can make an argument they're 2 of the best two-way centers in the game of the last decade, really.
Sure can.
Right? And for the Montreal Canadiens, a lot has to go right for this team. They are obviously not the favorite against the team that had the best record in the Eastern Conference, the Washington Capitals. But they're right in there, and the Capitals they're trying to get past the first round for the first time since they won the Cup. They've got some demons themselves. What has to go right for Montreal to beat Washington in the first round?
I think the first thing that has to happen is Montreal's got to win Game 1. Because you got to plant the seed of doubt.
Right.
And the quicker you can plant the seed of doubt into a team that hasn't really been at the same form over the last few weeks that we saw early in the year en route to challenging for the President's Trophy. But the Washington Capitals are a big team. They're a skilled team. They're really well coached. Spencer Carberry should be right there with Scott Arniel in the Coach of the Year discussion. And their defense is good. Logan Thompson, if he's ready to play, you know, that would be a real significant boost for the Washington Capitals. But for Montreal, and it's been magic for Montreal this year, they're going to have to stand up to the physicality and the size of the Washington Capitals and get that seed of doubt planted and then keep watering it. That's what you have to do. You can't wait till, we lost the first 2 games. Well, you know, a series, it doesn't really get into you lose
Montreal,
a home game. You go down 2-0 against the Washington. That means you got to win 4 of the next 5 games.
Yeah.
And what I say to that? bon chance.
What about the Tom Wilson factor? This guy's been chomping at the bit to get back into the postseason and play postseason hockey. And
Tom Wilson factor.
Oh my gosh.
The Tom Wilson factor is like, you know, most players that are going up against Tommy Wilson, their afternoon naps aren't really restful. Especially the defensemen that are playing that have to go back to the bar. I love Tommy Wilson. He better be on Canada's Olympic team.
Let's talk about the odds to win the Cup overall, Craig, for Canadian teams. And does it surprise you somewhat that FanDuel has the Oilers still as the team with the best odds to win the Stanley Cup right
Well, the Oilers fans are all placing bets on their favorite team. I mean, we know what's happening.
As long as they're doing it on FanDuel.
Yeah, oh, yeah, exactly.
On the FanDuel app.
Hey, listen, go to FanDuel to make your bets. I mean, I'm not telling you that. But I don't have them. In fact, I don't have them ahead of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, that's fair. Before I ask you which Canadian team has the best chance to win the Cup, I don't know if you noticed there, Carolina overall on FanDuel has the best odds to win the Stanley Cup right now, according to FanDuel.
Carolina.
Are you questioning that? I think a few people are.
Well, why? How can you not?
Why? Why do you think they are?
How can you not question it?
So why do you think they would?
They're not good enough.
Right.
They're not good enough.
What do you think FanDuel's thinking?
Small. I don't know.
Make a case for it. Pretend you're working for FanDuel. What would be the case for that?
I can't. Like you can't win the Stanley Cup with little players. Brian Murray famously said, you know, there's good little players in the game, and you can have some good little players. But if you have too many good little players, you're just going to be a good little team.
Right.
That's what the Carolina Hurricanes are. They're a good little team.
Brent Burns and a bunch of little guys.
Good little teams don't win the Stanley Cup, Jay. I wouldn't put one penny on the Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay, well, Todd Furman is going to join us later. We'll see if he can make a case for the Carolina Hurricanes.
I can't. I know you asked me to. I can't.
Clearly you couldn't. So, who are you picking to win it all?
The Winnipeg Jets.
All right.
Against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Wow.
In the Stanley Cup final. I think Tampa Bay's got a terrific team. I think they played so well. But the Winnipeg Jets, you know, when you go back, we talked about this in previous shows. You know, you look at 4 of the last number of years, they've lost to the Stanley Cup champion or the Stanley Cup finalists. Vegas twice, Washington, and not Washington, Montreal, and the St. Louis Blues.
Right.
I think all of that, the team has grown. I think that they understand that the playoffs are now about the every single shift mentality, that everything matters, every single shift. I think they're in that state. I think they're in that mode, and I think it's their time.
Iafallo said it was important for him to get the deal done now so they could focus on the postseason. That shows you how dialed in this team is. Craig, great to have you on the show. Thanks, buddy. Should we hug?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Good to see you.